Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I am your host, Hector Montalvo. This show is dedicated to asking tough questions for you, the viewers. We bring you their responses, and we let you decide. Joining us here today at our MCTV studios, we are happy to be joined with the mayor from the city of Methuen, the Honorable Mayor Bill Manzi. Mr. Manzi, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Hector. Pleasure to be here.
Mr. Manzi, we've invited you on the show to discuss talent bank applications and the appointments of boards and commissions by the mayor. Can you tell us what is the first step that anyone that wishes to serve their community, what they must do to be considered to be appointed?
Sure. We have a what they call a talent bank application that is available through my office or more conveniently online that you can download, fill out, and submit to the mayor's office for consideration to all of the city's boards and commissions.
Now, they are available online? And
they are online, yeah. You download a PDF and fill it out, and you can send it back to me. If you scan it in, you can send it electronically or hand deliver it to the office.
What happens after a person submits an application for consideration? Is there like a written process or anything?
No, there really isn't. It's been more informal. We review, periodically look at openings that may be at any city board or commission. Take a look at the applications when the time comes and see if there's one that we think is a good fit.
How long are the applications usually good for?
We keep them on file. We have not digitized that file, but we keep a manual file. And since I've been mayor, I don't believe we've thrown any away. So they just stay in the file.
Now, city council meetings, the city councilors have to approve these type of appointments?
To all of the boards and commissions, I believe. There may be one or two exceptions, but I think principally the mayor proposes a name and the city council can either approve it or reject it.
Is there anyone being considered for nomination on this upcoming city council meeting?
I believe that we have sent up Joyce Campagnon on the Youth Commission.
Oh, great.
Which is something that, even though she's a councilor, she had served on it before. I believe that councilors are ineligible for some boards and commissions, but I don't believe the Youth Commission is one of them.
And she served on that in the past, and she actually did a pretty good job serving in that.
Yeah, she was on for years, went off for a period of time, and has asked to go back. There was a vacancy, so we put her back. Her name will be before the council at the next meeting, I do believe.
Now, once they're appointed, is there like an oath that they take, or?
Yeah, they actually would go in and be sworn by the city clerk and take an oath to uphold the state constitution and discharge their duties, and they would actually get an appointment card.
They will. Can you share that oath with us?
I actually don't know it. I would have to defer to the clerk, but I think it would be a standard oath, and it would be analogous to the one that the city council takes and I take as mayor. Probably much the same thing.
Does that oath applies to like municipal codes and just the municipal codes?
Yeah, no, I believe that it would be local, state, and federal. So the oath would apply, I think, to all three.
I just want to remind the viewers you are watching Behind the Scenes. I am your host, Hector Montalvo. We are joined here today with the Honorable Mayor Bill Manzi, answering questions for you, the viewers, about talent bank application and the process that you must take, and the appointments of board and commissions by the mayor. If you have any questions that you want us to ask your government officials or legal representation, send us an email at thehectormontalvoshow@yahoo.com. Mr. Mayor, I wanted to go back a second. In Methuen, there is a section under the municipal code, which is section 3-81, paragraph A, which states, upon a completion of a term of office of a city councilor who is not seeking re-election, said person should not be eligible for appointments to any board or commission for a period of 1 year from the completion of said term as a city councilor. How do you interpret that, and how would this affect your appointment and the oath that you and the city councilors have taken if Joyce Campion is appointed?
Well, I think on that one it says the appointment of Joyce, in my opinion, doesn't fit there because it's after you leave office as a city councilor. It was actually, to my recollection, passed not too long ago when this city council took office. They took that up and took it up after the appointment of Deborah Quinn to the planning board. Deborah Quinn had run for re-election, not been successful, and had been put on the planning board. And I think, honestly, that was the sort of the flashpoint of the legislation. But I don't think it applies to Joyce in this case. But if the city council chooses to move the appointment, they move it. If they choose not to, we'll send up another name.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. You have always been an open and transparent mayor, as most of our viewers know. But let's say we like to ask the tough questions for the viewers from their politicians and their legal representation. But I just want to ask you really quickly, if you wasn't open and transparent, how do you think you would have answered that question? And rather than have you answer it, I just want to bring in little Willie Manzi to see if how he would have answered that, if you don't mind. Mr. Little Willie Manzi, how would you have answered that particular question?
Can I tell you that that's the same answer I was going to give?
Mr. Mayor, if a member that you may appoint ends up in the hospital, do you visit them on behalf of the city?
I could visit them. I think it would probably depend on their last few votes on the board and commission. But yeah, certainly I might, though I do have a hard time getting to hospitals.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we understand that there is a member that was appointed to the committee who's been in the hospital for about 5 weeks. Hasn't had too many visitors.
Yes.
So we wanted to find out.
I have not been up to the hospital, and I don't think the problem in that case is time. I don't think the nurses are going to let me in. I think he's been quarantined inside his room.
Now, Mr. Mayor, this is your last year as mayor.
Yes.
And you publicly stated that the negotiations for you to become my chief of staff has broken down. Do you see further talks, or is this the end of Bill Manzi?
Well, I think that I don't know if the viewers know that the talks broke down essentially over salary. So, I mean, I'm open to continue talks along those lines as long as you're willing to be flexible on salary. I'm willing to be flexible as well.
And what type of salary are you looking?
Well, I think we certainly have to go above where I'm at now, and I think the opening offer was about $130,000.
Yeah, you got to hand it to the mayor. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you for coming into the show today, taking this time to come out to answer some of the interesting questions, which is basically the topic of talent bank applications. What do you think people need to do to, besides the talent bank applications, to even get their name out to you?
Well, I think, honestly, people need to look at the boards and see which ones they'd be interested in. I think that particularly for the higher volume boards, planning, zoning, and conservation, require some, not technical knowledge, but a higher degree of homework maybe than some of the other ones. They also require, in the case of zoning, site visits, planning, site visits, Concom, site visits. And Concom, obviously, I think of the three, may need some higher degree of technical knowledge. So it's not easy. It does require some hard work. But if you're willing to do that and you're willing to acquaint yourself with some of those things, come in and take a look at and see if those would be good for you or some of the other ones that are there. So, there's a whole group of boards that may be applicable. It's good to get people involved. Honestly, I was a city councilor in 1992, 1993, and the meetings were actually over at the Quinn Building. And for each meeting, I would say to you that whether there was something of real interest on the agenda or not, you probably had 30 to 40 people at every meeting. And when there was something of interest, you might have to move it to a larger venue. Obviously, that's changed, and I don't think that's a good change. I know that we have TV now, and maybe more people watch it on TV, but I think the interest level is down, and that's a function of busy lives and doing different things. But involvement in local government is good. And we should encourage it, and hopefully, even through the board process, you can get people that might run for political office later as well.
Now, on the talent bank applications, there's a whole bunch of lists of different boards. Do they just circle one particular
They can
board
circle
member,
any that are of interest, so they're not restricted to one. They can circle as many as they want, and then we see where there might be an opening and go from there.
And now, being that this is a non-paid position, it's usually people from the community volunteering their actual time on there. What should the people know before deciding whether or not they want to join this? Is there amount of time that they must spend on a particular?
Yeah, and it does ask you on the talent bank application how many meetings a month you would be willing to do. Most I think are once a month, but there are some that would require more than that. So we ask you that, but certainly in the case of the 3 that I mentioned earlier, you probably would have to do more than the 1 meeting a month in terms of homework and potential site visits. So sometimes the site visits are important, and you get a flavor for what you're actually looking at by going to the site. I served for about a year on the zoning board, and I know that site visits were very important.
So for the Youth Commission, if someone wanted to go into the Youth Commission, they'd be dealing with stuff that involved the youth, the children of Methuen.
Yeah, programs for the kids run through the commission, and there is, I think, obviously, sort of a hand-in-hand relationship with our recreation department. But one of the things that the Youth Commission in association with Recreation does every year, just one of them is the Easter egg hunt for the kids at the Veterans Park. So there are things like that that I think are important for the community and that the Youth Commission is involved in.
Does the Youth Commission deal with the school district as well to set up field trips?
I think that they could. I don't know that they have in the last several years, but certainly there's not a limit to what they can do. And keep in mind, for a commission like that, honestly, the upper limit is what the commission's willing to do. So if they come in and they're looking for additional things that haven't been done by prior youth commissions, there's nothing that says that they can't do it. It's just what do they want to make out of it, and how high do they want to take it.
How does a vacancy become available?
Either through the resignation of the either through the resignation, non-reappointment, or term limit of a individual board member.
I think Willie Manzi wants to say something.
Yes, I don't. You're going to turn the interview to.
I believe.
Maybe. Oh, that hurts.
Well, Mayor Manzi, I'd like to thank you for coming in and answering our questions for the viewers. We know you're a busy man, and really quick before we leave you, Mr. Manzi, since this is your last year and obviously your term limit out, do you have plans on maybe running as a write-in candidate?
I do not believe that I would be eligible as a write-in candidate, and certainly if I'm aspiring to be a chief of staff, I don't think that you would appreciate the write-in candidacy. So we're going to have to work on that and see where we go.
Well, Mr. Mayor, we want to thank you for coming in. We want to thank the crew at MCTV, the staff at MCTV, and we want to thank you at home for watching. Join us next time as we go behind the scenes to ask the tough questions, bring you their responses. We let you decide. Thank you for watching.
I guess I beat myself here. Wow, very good. Let me sit down here. Wow, this is great. This is great. Now, am I supposed to interview me, or is somebody else going to interview me? I got to say that it looks better than the governor.